Well, pleased to be joined by 8-time Entertainer of the Year, Kenny Chesney, at your home away from home here. Gillette Stadium is really your home away from home.
Yes, it is.
For our Patriots pregame show presented by Duncan, fueled by Duncan. Thanks for joining us, Kenny.
Man, thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Well, the end of the tour means Foxborough and Gillette Stadium.
Yeah.
How are the fans of New England so fortunate enough to get the tour finale for all these years?
Well, there was a couple of years when we first started playing here that it wasn't the end of the tour. There was like 3 years, I think, where we played earlier on in July. But there was one summer, and if you ask anybody that plays sports, they'll tell you they're a little superstitious. You know, if they have a great game, you know, they do the same routine or whatever. So that particular year, we opened at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, and we closed in Foxborough, and it was the most magical tour of my life, right? And I told everybody, I said, we're doing it just like that every year. And we have ever since. We've opened in Tampa and closed in Foxborough. Now, in the middle changes, but we love it that way, you know, and it has become just a huge part of our life, part of my touring family's life. And we know that when we get to Foxborough that we've had a long, wonderful summer, but it's almost like we hit a different gear when we get here. You know, it's beautiful, and we don't take it for granted, and it's just a huge celebration for me and my road family. And I've got a lot of friends, obviously, in New England, and over the years have become really good friends with, you know, a lot of people in the Patriots organization, and become family with Robert and Jonathan.
And I think you can see that as a fan. You know, as somebody who was here last night and in the pit, and at the end, the appreciation that your family has. There's like a little bit of relief, like there's a little light at the end of the tunnel, because it's a grueling tour.
It is.
But the happiness and the joy that everyone seemed to have towards the end, it really, in the audience, you can feel that.
Well, I say it a lot. It's a lot like the last day of school. You know what I mean? Like, you look forward to it, and you're tired, and you want it. In one sense, you want it to be over, but then again, you don't want to let it go. And that's where we are. We're in this bittersweet place, you know, walking through the hallways here at Gillette and getting on the buses. And look, we've been in rehearsal since February, you know, and been together since then. And we've been on the road. We started in Tampa in the middle of April. And so here we are, you know, and it's like anything else. You look at pictures from then, it seems like forever ago, but in your soul, it just seems like yesterday. And so it's bittersweet, you know, to let it go, but to be here and to be back, like you said in the beginning, you know, Foxborough has become, in a lot of ways, my second home, and the Kraft, my second family, in a way. So, you know, it's just real special. It always is.
Let's go back maybe 15 years ago when, you know, New England wasn't new to you. You were playing sheds.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember a place by the name of Great Woods. Who knows what it's called this week or anything like that.
Yeah.
What was the impetus, or why did you think, Kenny, or how did the genesis come about? You know what? Let's tackle stadium shows. This is going to be a barrier to break, and I think we can break through and do that.
Yeah, especially in this area. We played the amphitheater outside of town in Mansfield, and we played that a couple of years, and you could just feel this energy boiling underneath. You know, we could just tell that there was something special happening in New England, and everywhere we played, no matter if it was in the Boston area or if it was in Vermont, or if it was in Maine, or wherever, it was just crazy, or Rhode Island. It was a real unique connection. And there was, I think it was 2004, we did 2 or 3 nights at the amphitheater down in Mansfield. And that's when we decided, you know, the next year we were going to try. We didn't know that we could pull it off, but we were going to try to do a couple of stadium shows. And that year, I believe in 2005, we played Pittsburgh, we played DC, and we played Foxborough. And it was just, I was stunned that we were able to do well. You know, we didn't do what we're doing now, but I think we were really close to selling out the first time we ever played Foxborough, and it just became a tradition for us. You know, but it was a big leap of faith on my part and Robert's part. I mean, it was, neither one of us obviously knew we were going to become this good of friends, or we knew that we were going to be able to sustain this love affair, if you will, for you know, I think tonight, you know, this weekend will be our 22nd, 23rd, and 24th shows at Gillette.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that you're now doing 3 consecutive shows at the same venue. That's
I've never done that.
Unusual.
Well, I did that one time, never in a stadium, but we did it at Red Rocks outside of Denver one year. And this is the only time we've ever done 3 in a football stadium.
You mentioned some of the moments, Kenny, and you've been involved with the Krafts in a lot of special moments outside of the music, which is unbelievable in its own sense. His birthday parties, acoustic show the night before the Super Bowl in Arizona, in his suite, down 28-3. Who's he hugging on the comeback? Ring ceremonies. Unbelievable things.
I know.
Do you have a favorite?
Well, look, the ring ceremony was right up there. You know, I I wasn't expecting that. You know, but all of it. You know, when you think about all those things, it's just, you know, Robert and I have been in each other's lives in good times and bad times, and that's what family is. You know, and that's what makes it so special. And it's we do business together. But aside from that, I mean, I feel like that our friendship is on a completely different level than that now. But if I have a favorite, I mean, it would be the ring ceremony for sure. But being at the Super Bowl down 28-3, and I kept telling Robert and Jonathan, they were upset at halftime. That was a tough halftime to be in the suite. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So because they wear their feelings. I mean, they care about this stuff. You know, obviously. I kept telling them, just wait. And it's little by little, you know, they just kept coming back. And I'm telling you, that was that's got to be one of my most favorite moments ever, was that night they came back.
It's an interesting snapshot into society. Here's a kid from Tennessee. And is now working on a 20-plus year relationship with a billionaire football ownership. Why do you think that relationship has endured, Kenny?
Because it's authentic. Honestly, we're not friends because of money. We're not friends. We're friends because we love sports, and we're friends because we love music, and we have a lot of other stuff in common. You know, Robert really cares about people. You know, everything he's doing with his hate initiative. I mean, all of it. Like I give a lot to charity, and so does he. And I think that's a really big part of our connection, is that we have all those things in common. And Robert said years ago, because we always do a lunch on a Friday before my first show in Foxborough. And he told me that day, he goes, music and sports bring people together more than anything else that we have in our lives. And especially in today's society, those things are really true. I mean, there's a lot of division, and there's a lot of hate, and there's a lot of stuff going on in our country. And I truly believe that he's right now more than ever. And I just think that's why. I think we have a lot of the same values. Both of us, you know, work really hard and have built something from the ground up, and I don't know, there's just mutual respect.
I think it's in your live recording, if I go back, that you released, where you talk about that, and it's in front of the 65,000 people here in Foxborough, and there's just a huge swell of cheers. It sounds so simple that we come together, but it's so true. And I know you go out in the parking lot and you see No Shoes Nation and everything like that. But people can put their differences aside for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours and just get into the music.
Yeah, I think that sports and music are the two places where they're not going to be told what to believe. Well, music on my concerts anyway. I have friends that use that platform, use their stage as a platform to tell people what to believe and how to think and who to vote for. That's never been a part of my life, you know. I've always been the antithesis of that. And that's the same as coming to watch the Patriots. You know, they just want to win, right? They don't want to be told what to think. And I think that those two things are really very, very common with music and sports in my life, and, you know, and what you guys do here.
So I think it's over my left shoulder. There's a picture of somebody that maybe younger Patriot fans don't remember. Number 86, Stanley Morgan.
Yeah.
And you're a fan.
No, I was a big fan. Like, I grew up in Knoxville, and you know, we didn't have a pro allegiance to anyone because all we had was Tennessee football. And the new coach, Gerard Mayo, played at Tennessee, so I knew who he was, you know, a long time ago, because he played under Phil Fulmer at Tennessee. So I grew up on Tennessee football, and so the players that played for Tennessee, for us, not having pro football in your life, they were as big as anyone. You know, so I loved Stanley Morgan, Willie Gault, and a lot of guys that played at Tennessee, and so they were really. Stanley was a really big guy in the lore of Knoxville and Tennessee football. So when he played for the Patriots, that's when I started following the Patriots, and it's been that way since I was a kid.
It seems like almost a perfect marriage between football, music, and the Boys of Fall.
Yeah.
What was the impetus behind that song, Kenny?
Well, I honestly knew that my sports days were limited, right, in high school. And I remember being in high school, my last game, and I just sat there forever and kept my cleats on and my shoulder pads on, because I knew when I took them off, that was it forever. And I think the song Boys of Fall just got into the core of a lot of family values. I feel like that a lot of families and communities that lean on their sports teams, I felt like that song was one of the songs that really just touched the DNA of their life. And I grew up in that community, and there's a lot of communities. I mean, Foxborough is one of those communities, and New England has a lot of those communities. And when I grew up, we had certain things to lean on, and that was church, and that was school, music, and football. And when I heard Boys of Fall, a guy named Casey Beathard wrote that song, and his dad was Bobby Beathard, who was a famous
Great GM.
In the NFL, and so there was a football connection there. It was a really authentic song about Casey's life, and ended up being a really universal song about a lot of our lives. You know what I mean? And I remember Sean Payton. He did the intro to the video.
Phenomenal.
And the Saints were up here practicing with the Patriots, and Sean had back then we had DVDs and stuff to watch.
Yeah.
And Sean went over and during the week, because they were up here practicing with him. He told Belichick, he goes, "Here, you got to watch this." And Bill goes, all right. He grabbed it, and Sean didn't know if he was going to watch it or not. The next day, Bill came almost running over to Sean, going, "Man, I'm really glad you gave me that," because there was a lot of reasons. Obviously, we know and love Bill, but so I knew that it had connected on a lot of different levels.
So 2 months ago, Kenny, you're used to playing in front of 60,000 people here at Gillette Stadium, but there's a full band with you, and it's No Shoes Nation that's here. 2 months ago, you played an acoustic version of that song.
That's right.
What did it mean to you to be included in that night when Tom went into the Team Hall of Fame, and to be able to perform that song?
Well, it meant a lot to me personally. I know it was a big night for Tom, but for me, because me and my father, we don't have a lot in common, but we have football in common, and that's important. That's enough, really. And Tom Brady, whether he knows it or not, probably brought a lot of fathers and sons together. And it definitely it was the nucleus of this community for a long time, and so I was honored to be asked and to sing that song, and Tom is Tom Brady now, right? But there was a time where he was a kid, and his father was taking him to practice, and that's what that song's about, And so whether you're Tom Brady or Kenny Chesney that quit growing in high school, that song still resonates, and so it meant the world to me to sing it and to be here and to be a part of that special night for Tom. I mean, I love him and what he's done for a lot of people. He made a lot of people happy.
Different song, but also impactful, at least in this region, and you only play it here. Is Boston.
Yeah.
Is it just as simple as that? I just want to play it.
It is. It's in ways as simple as that. It's such an intimate song, but about our relationship. It was written honestly about a girl that I was chasing down in the Virgin Islands that wore her Red Sox cap backwards because she had these baby dreadlocks, and but that's where that song was originally started and created. But it was on a record that I never thought anybody would ever hear, and it just seems disingenuous to play it somewhere else, honestly. And I get asked to play it everywhere, and I just say, I'm sorry, I just can't do it. So that's why it means so much to, like last night, we did this song, and tonight we're going to do it. Sunday night we're going to do it, but that's why it means so much to me and the audience, is because they know that it's our song, and that means everything.
As we wrap this up, as we said earlier, night 22 night 23 and night 24. Unbelievable run. What's your message to the people of Foxborough, the people in New England, and No Shoes Nation, which was born right here in New England?
It's just a simple thank you. You know, we go to a lot of places to play music. We do, and we played, over 20 football stadiums this summer, and a lot of them have been very, very wonderful and very loud and very energetic. But there's nothing like it. I come in here to play, and I get stopped wherever I go in New England. I get stopped, and it means a lot to me. They don't really, want anything other than just to say thank you. And that's over years of, it's become generational now. People that came to see us in 2005, which is our first year, are now bringing their kids, and that means a lot to me, and to know that you have such a connection, not with just the city, but a region. And it's special. And that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world for me. Now, we have great audiences everywhere and go play, all kinds of different places and stadiums and stuff, but this is the only place where we feel connected to a region, not just a city.
Well, you say thank you. I say thank you on behalf of a very small part, but thank you for everything that you put into it, the dedication, the music, and thank you for your time here today.
Oh, man, no, thank you very much.